Hello everyone, welcome to our State Talks about Eduna Media. I'm Lambodhar. You are watching Eduna Media, India's trusted education channel which gives you all updates related to education. Today we are at IIFT Delhi campus going to speak about IIFT futures, about the admission process and placement process, how IIFT has grown last 40 years. For that we have the guest with us, Dr. Manoj Pant, who is the current director of IIFT. Sir, welcome sir to our show. Sir, as you are a prestigious institute of the current director, so how your life journey started? Your success story of yours. Just want to know.
See, IFT began, it's an old institution. It began way back in 63 as a think tank in the Ministry of Commerce, a role which it continues to perform today. Since about the 90s, we began this MBA program that we have.
Right.
And in the next, about 15 years or so, we have achieved the status of at least the top 10 institutions MBA program in the country.
Great.
And we also are convinced that at least in the areas of trade and finance, we equal even the graduates of any of the IMs. So that's been a fairly remarkable journey. In addition, since about 2012, we have become a deemed to be university, which means we also have a very active PhD and research program. So in a sense, we are a very complete institution, an MBA program, think tank, the Ministry of Commerce, a very active research program, and we expect to start a few more programs like Masters in Economics, which have normal synergies with management programs.
But that's great, sir. Sir, you are maintaining as you said, high quality standards and all for IFT is concerned. Those who are interested for MBA in international business, what is the reason behind the success? If you're talking about international standard is concerned.
See, it's like this. Every management institution offers standard courses like HR, marketing, OB, so do we. But over time, every institution must develop a focus area. And that's been, I think, our success, that we have been identified as the leading institution in the area of trade. And you can see all top trading companies like Onam and all will come to IFT for recruitment. So at least in the area of international trade, we have no rival as far as placement is concerned.
So in admissions process, I'm sure IIFT is taking their own entrance exam rather than
Yes.
that entrance exam.
Yes.
So how you take this to begin student point of view, always asking questions like what is the actual admission process for entering into IIFT Delhi campus as well as IIFT Kolkata campus?
There is no difference between Delhi and Calcutta campus. Both programs are the same. What we do is we admit students in both campuses, and sometimes students opt for Calcutta, sometimes they opt for Delhi. There is no distinction. Both degrees are equivalent. Both courses are
The
equivalent.
major process, I'm talking students point of view.
Student point of view, see, you have a advertisement which comes out and you apply, and then you give the test, and then you grade them here. And then we now, after we do the grading, this year, for example, we got 62,000 applicants. Out of that, we shortlisted about 2,000 roughly, who will be called, who have now been interviewed in group discussions. So we'll have about 2,000 people. Our teams have gone to all the we go to every capital and we interview students and have group discussions.
Okay.
And then we shortlist about maybe about 2,000 or so who will be called for group discussion in Delhi. And then there will be a group discussion and then there will be an interview before the final grading.
Well, that's great. But a student have always little bit confusion among the like MBA versus PGDM. You can say if you're talking about other top colleges like MDI, SPZ, and IMT also offering PGDM programs, you people are offering MBA. So in confusion, so how do can you differentiate about the process?
See, these institutions, since they are not universities, cannot give a degree.
Okay.
Whereas we, being a deemed university, gives a degree. So our MBA is recognized a degree, whereas they call it a diploma. But really it's the same thing.
But PGDM, but some colleges are offering AIU approved also. Then that gets equivalent to MBA degree.
Sure. But the question is, there is a legal issue of whether an MBA from these institutions is legally a degree in terms of equivalence. We don't have that problem. But really there's no difference.
That because students always confused about diploma and degree.
No. Diploma is something you have to give because you don't have a university status and therefore you cannot give a degree. We have university status, so we have a degree.
So what about your suggestions to students, students who do opt for MBA or PGDM?
I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters. You see, let's put it this way. These are all nomenclatures. Ultimately, what matters is the placement. And our strength lies not in whether we call it MBA or PGDM, but the fact that we have very high placements. And our placement is extremely good. So that's what really is the strength. I don't think the name itself should confuse students. If they can look at the curricula, the program of each of these and see that roughly similar, except we focus on certain areas. That's really the difference. Otherwise, I don't think there's any difference.
That's great. So nowadays, some colleges, university facing retaining the quality faculties. So how IIFT is maintaining the standard, maintaining some good faculties at least in the campus?
Well, we have done two things. One, we periodically have selection committees. I recently had some, and we hired about quite a few people. In addition, I have started an internal promotion scheme. And we have a system by which existing faculty can also opt to be promoted internally as long as they satisfy certain fairly strict norms. Remember, we are a management institution and our faculties get paid higher than the universities. So our norms for promotions are higher than the universities. But yet we have an internal promotion scheme by which people can have an incentive to move up. And in addition, we keep periodically inducting faculty from outside.
Agreed, sir. So if we're talking about MBA and international business, the students are quite confused, like what about the future perspective in international business trade as corporate is concerned? So can you describe from a student point of view, those who want to opt for MBA in international business, what are the future in terms of job opportunities concerned?
Well, as you know, and you must have seen the media, we place our students in the third semester itself. That is in the December, they're completing the course, but in December they all get placed. And our placements with our companies is so good that we really don't need to look. We don't have to actually go canvassing companies. The companies come every year. And we really don't have to go anymore and look for companies to invite.
Yes, that's fine. But I'm talking about international business, actual future perspective. I agree. So
well, look at this way. The Indian economy today, roughly about 45-50% of GDP is exports plus imports, which means 1 out of every 2 commodities either exported or imported.
Right.
So every company, I cannot think of any company which is not engaged in trade. Now, trade involves knowing certain procedures, knowing certain facts about the international trading arena and also domestic, and that's what we are best at. So, I don't see any problem unless you have a company which does not trade at all, and I cannot think of any which is like that. Our placement is automatic in any company.
In terms of placements, can you name some few companies, like your best company can say those who are taking for international business students?
Onam is one.
Okay.
Then we have Tata's, the other. We have Hindustan HUL is the other. There are many companies.
That means a bright future in international business.
Oh yeah. All top companies. No. I would say our companies that hire are in the top 150, 100 of the companies. We don't go to small companies. We only have the top leaders who come here.
Oh, that's great. So, see, as of now, so many colleges are offering them. Our Indian education system is concerned offering theoretical knowledge. So, IIFT students are getting some corporate tie-off during the studies. Getting some practical exposures and all.
2 ways we do that. One, in our curriculum, in our teaching program, we try to bring industry leaders to give hands-on experience. Technically, about 20-25% of lectures are by, sometimes they are our own alumni, sometimes other business leaders who come from corporates and speak on their area. So that's the practical experience. So that's one thing that we do. In addition, you must understand that we have a very strong pre-placement scheme. So by summer, almost all our students have got pre-placement offers. So they do internship in summer, and invariably those who are pre-placed in summer get the job also after that.
Oh, that's easy. So see, if you're talking about nowadays, as you said about faculties, but if we're talking about internal faculty or academic PhD holders or like some corporate faculties, so which is the backbone for your student success?
No, the backbone still remains our internal faculty, but the visiting faculty or visiting lecturers who are invited from industry are a very important component of our teaching program, because they give the link between the theory and the practice. And many companies, many students also link up with these companies and do internships. So I would say the major component would be internal faculty, of course, because you have to know. You see, you cannot do practice unless you know theory. But we link theory and practice by this by these linkages with the business leaders.
But that's great. So as you know, it's a young India. So many young entrepreneurs are coming to by their own thoughts, like from IIM, some top college also. So IIFT have giving some help provisions or like helping the students, those who want to come its own entrepreneurship or own business ideas. You are setting some any education center in this campus or helping the students.
Oh yes, you mean helping people apart from the MBA students?
I'm talking about helping the students, those who want to start their own venture as an entrepreneur. You can say that.
Yes. There are two things we do. We have a very successful program called the Niryat Bandhu. What the Niryat Bandhu says is, it's a very interesting program, and I think it's unique to IIFT. We link through computers, we link any individual anywhere in the country who wants to think in terms of starting an export business. And the first thing everyone's mind is, how do I do it? What are the costs involved? What are the procedures involved? So we have this wonderful program. It costs only 10,000 rupees for an individual. Rest Ministry of Commerce gives a subsidy. And what we do is these students, these individuals located anywhere, they're all over the country, south, north, east, west. They link through a online program, and we have the best experts from the ministry, from the DGFT, Ministry of Commerce. We have the best experts who talk about the actual procedures of export documentation, of licensing, etc. And then we have a once in a while, maybe once or twice in a year, we try to bring them together here so they can also network.
Okay.
And that's one program that we have that is very, very, I think, important. And that's part of our social outreach. And we have a certain social function too, and that is one that we do.
But that's great. And we're talking about IIFT have also maintained a strong quality standard, you can say, in India. If you're talking about world-class institute is concerned, Stanford, Wharton, Kellogg, or London Business School, still IIFT have lacked. So what is the number? Already last 60 years IIFT is running great campus in India. So what is the reason behind that?
Well, there are a number of factors. First of all, international institutions that you're talking about are global in the sense they can hire faculty from anywhere in the world and they can hire students from anywhere in the world. We have our restrictions. We cannot hire faculty from anywhere. We cannot have a very large contingent of students. So we are limited in what we can do. That's one. But I think, for example, there is a now rating agency called the AACSB, which rates internationally, and IIFT is now on it. And we expect to get the actual recognition in a couple of years. So that helps a lot. And of course, there's so many other issues, At the moment, for example, IIFT, hopefully will change in about 2 years from now. We don't have very good residential facility for foreign students.
Oh.
And Delhi, as you know, is a very expensive place.
Infrastructure also is a question mark.
No, infrastructure is pretty good, but in terms of residential facilities, we don't have that much. So hopefully we'll develop on that over time. But I think we are actually, I would say we rival most institutions in the world. Now, what you are saying is based on what are called rating agencies. Now, rating agencies, you've got to take them with a pinch of salt because they are not specific to countries. They take a standard given to them and impose it everywhere else. I think if you looked at the placements, I think if you looked at the satisfaction, I think if you look at the fact that students no longer are desperate to go abroad for MBA and do it here.
Still, they have the charm. The top institutes, they maintain the ranks, you can say that.
Yeah, you're right. But they don't forget, most of these institutions that you're talking about, like Stanford, Harvard, they're located in a university system. We are not located in a university system. So you have a higher ranking because you're part of a university system, because you have many other interdisciplinary courses that you can do. We don't have that. We are a standalone management institution. So therefore, that's an obvious limitation which in the Indian context is not easy to get around. But I don't think IIFT has any less of a stature than most other universities.
I agree on that. So lastly, can you give me some suggestions to newcomers, those who want to do the MBA in future? Any suggestions to the new students?
Well, first thing, of course, unfortunately, or the competition is very intense. So prepare in advance. Don't go to these teaching jobs. It doesn't work because we don't have the same thing every year. In the IIFT examination, our examination is slightly different from the CAT because we have a lot of focus on trade finance. So it's a little different. So do look at it a little differently. And all I can say is that we do hope to expand in future, depending on availability, infrastructure, and therefore I hope that more and more students will be able to get admission. But I would say just start preparing in time. That's, I think, the only solution.
Focus on the goal.
And be clear that the admissions are entirely based on merit. There is nothing. Even I don't have any powers
We're
to
talking
give.
about admission. Last question, like in admission, like is there any NRI or foreign? I mean, quotas is there? It's concerned like if those UK nationals or US nationals you're talking about.
Yeah, we do have. We do allow certain
So
number
those
of.
candidates have to give the IIFT entrance exams or directly?
No. They are directly involved.
Okay.
We haven't yet so far been that actively involved in recruiting foreign students, but we are doing it now.
Okay.
But we're starting that now. Now
On
we're
the basis of academic backgrounds and
That's right.
experience.
That's right. We are going to do that. Obviously, it's very difficult to ask them to go through a examination which is held only in India, right?
Yeah.
So that's different. But I think we do use instead of this we will use scores like GMAT, etc. to see if we can give admissions. But I think we are planning to expand. These are early days yet. I've just taken over, and we do want to expand our focus to also have foreign students. Remember, we may not be as highly rated as some of the institutions you say, but we are highly cost competitive.
In terms of ROI, it's a great.
Yes. Our rate of return on investment is very high.
Great, sir. Thank you, sir. It was a nice discussion. Thank you for joining us, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Okay.